Hi everybody, it's Hannah from Winsome Cottage Gardens, and earlier this week I showed you my main vegetable area back there. But I wanted to show you a couple other ways you can get creative if you've got a small space like I do at my home to amp up food production if that's something you want. I love tomatoes and I love peppers and I like trying new things. So I was running out of space. So I found some scrap wood and I had a tree come down a couple years ago and I built a raised bed in the middle of my garden bed. So it's still, you know, a beautiful time and a beautiful view, but it's just a little bit more productive. So I thought I'd show that to you, as well as another creative space where you might be able to expand your garden with some other unconventional materials. So let's go check it out. Okay, so just next to the garden, next to these, and I think they're Mexican primrose. I don't know what their real name is, but they're just going out of season, which is kind of sad. They've taken over, but I don't even really mind it because look, here's one that's still kind of in its prime. They're so pretty, and you can kind of tell based on some of the fizzled blooms that this becomes a sea of pink when they're in bloom. I've got some other plants in here, mostly sedums and other rockery type plants, because this area, as I mentioned, used to have, I'll see if I can find a picture, but a massive old elm tree. I believe it was a Chinese elm. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't plant it because I think it was about 48 inches across when I had to have it taken out. It was dying and it was losing limbs left and right. So it was a danger to my neighbor's fence as well as large sections of my yard. So I had to come down, and it created a massive hole. I really hope I can find a picture so you can see it. This bed has had some new things added to it since that time, but it allowed me to try a couple things, including adding some beds. These are actually old wood things that I had in my basement from the previous owner, because they had raised, they'd built a platform for washer and dryers to be raised up a little bit, and I got a new washer and dryer and it was too tall. So I took it apart and discovered all this old wood that I put together and made a raised bed. And the stump had been ground out, but there's just roots galore in this space. So I thought I'd show you what I'm doing with it this year. Oh, while I'm over here, I'll also show you this. I have two blueberry bushes here. One's a blue crop, the other is a Jersey blue, and this guy's just not doing well. I think he might need some acid. He might also have an iron deficiency. I've treated both. We're gonna check back and see how he does. But I'm hoping he survives because I only have two and you need two. And my other guy is good. In fact, he's got some itty bitty blueberries, which I am uber excited about. So, oh yeah, this one's the Jersey blue. Anyway, so I had enough wood. I had enough wood, ignore the real life stuff places, to make these two beds in this area. And I just went with the size of the wood I had. So these were the ones, they were too tall. I put them together and made a box, and these were the sides that I put together and made a box. I've grown a couple things in them last year. These were mostly peppers, and I discovered it was actually very difficult to get this stuff in the middle because this is a large bed. So this year I planted garlic in it. This is chestnut garlic. And it's looking very healthy. Yep, red garlic, chestnut, red garlic. I don't have them for everything, but I have them for some things. There's some that are really thick, like that guy, and there's some that are a little skinnier, but I'm hoping we'll get a good harvest. Now, these tomatoes I planted at the same time the tomatoes I showed you earlier this week, but I didn't put eggs in them. And I just want you to look and see how they've compared. Like, they're just so much smaller. Let's see if I can plan over here and show you these guys that did get an egg. Now, they've got fairly similar soil. These guys, I do need to work a little bit on the drip in this bed, but they're getting regularly watered. So they're just a little smaller. That is an additional Paul Robeson tomato. And then over here, oh look, my delphiniums are just beginning to bloom. That's exciting. This is a Napa Chardonnay cherry tomato, which is actually my favorite cherry tomato. And I'm very hopeful that this just puts on a ton of growth soon. Because I only planted one, because cherry tomatoes are fairly prolific. I didn't need more than one, but I need some. So the other thing that these two beds allowed me to do that I was so excited about, let's see if I can back up and go through a tree at the same time. Let's see, you can kind of see it here. Is try a arch made out of a cattle panel, which I've seen Jess from Roots and Refuge Farm do, and I just thought it looked so magical. And this was like a no man's land. My yard, you can kind of, you might have seen earlier, has like a step up to it and then a step down. So this area behind was just prime. So I've got a cattle panel archway that you can see through here. I don't know if I can show you. Let me see. Okay, pause. Let me see if I can show you my favorite view of the other side. Hold on. Okay, I'm at the other side. I actually had to go into the garden, so I can't really move forward a lot. But it just frames so beautifully this view where you can see the Annabelle hydrangea. I've got some garden art back there. And there's a red bud that's done blooming, but if you just wait, you can't see it now, but I have some flowers planted beyond the balls, and it's just going to be a beautiful visual that I can't wait to show with you a little bit more later this summer. So I love the structure that this brings. It was fairly inexpensive. I know that these cattle panels range depending on where you are. I think I paid $15 or $20 for a 16-foot one. This is a little skinnier than you probably should make them. It took some real muscling to get it in there, but it's not going anywhere. You can do it with one T-post. I did two since I bent it a little bit more, but it's been in place a couple years and it's going well. So I just love it. Anyway, back to the garden. I want to look and show you, in addition to those two tomatoes, I do have two peppers back here, a peppercini and a Craig's jalapeno. And on the panel, and these guys are kind of small still, I have some black-eyed Susan vine that I started from seed. I have some baby cucamelons. There's another baby view that just, it got planted kind of late. If I'm not, and some more kajari that will climb up the sky. The other side, and I don't think I've shared this with you, I have a Chadwick cherry tomato, just your run-of-the-mill heirloom cherry red tomato, some marigolds, some more black-eyed Susan vines, some more cucamelons, all that are being eaten once again by something. Hopefully, actually no, this is a seedling to a maple. And these all, well, I don't think I had the cucamelons come up now that I'm looking closely. These are black-eyed Susan vines, but they'll be a pretty flower. I also have back here, let me see if I can get a better view, a leopard honeydew, which I've never had, but I love honeydew, so I'm so excited for this. And I think I threw some in there too. I don't believe that's something else. It might be. If it is, it's a watermelon, like a smaller variety. So I'll find out more when the leaves come out. But the tag has gone. I'm not seeing it, so I'm pretty sure it's a watermelon. I don't know how it'll do being in the ground, but I figured I'd try, and I might train it to go up, or I might train it to kind of go around. That's what these two beds have in these raised beds that I literally made from materials that I already had or were fairly inexpensive. The tiny tomato cages, you can buy in a 3-pack, but last year I didn't have them. I just got really tall bamboo poles, like 8-foot ones, and used those as a center support. This year I wanted just a little bit something more because my tomatoes in these spots last year, they weren't in the exact position, but they were in these beds, grew so big, that I need a little bit more, and then I decided to invest in some more infrastructure. Let me show you, though, speaking of infrastructure, one more way that you can fit a little bit more into smaller gardens. Come check this out. Okay, I hope you don't get sick. You're gonna walk with me, so you can kind of get an idea of where this is. So there is the raised beds. There's the vegetable garden. Ignore the Adirondacks that my brother is storing here and he needs to take. And then if you come this way with me, we're going through my garden gate. You can see a cute puppy waiting for me to go inside. She's not quite the best gardening dog, but if I'm out here, she wants to be out there. Huh, Maisie? Huh? Are you a gardening dog? I don't think so. But anyway, let me show you just what is through here. Okay, so right next to my glorious little red car and my trusty trash can are 3 more 4-foot water troughs that I think are probably still used for cattle. I get enough sun, but I don't get quite hot enough that peppers like. So last year I tried this and it did an amazing thing where I put peppers in here. I have 3 to a container and I surround them with marigolds. You can kind of tell, maybe you can ignore, you know, real life weeds in an area that hopefully will be reclaimed in a project you will see sometime this summer. We'll find out. Sneak peek, here's another project I'm super excited about, as I'm sure anybody who is on city water would also be. Anyway, in my driveway next to the illustrious shed, someone's setting off fireworks. Technically illegal, but it's also definitely not dark enough for them. You okay? You're okay. It's just some fireworks. Okay, but here I've got a good number of peppers that I love. One of my favorite is this Deuce de Spania pepper. I don't know what it means. I think it's Spanish mammoth. It's a Spanish mammoth pepper that is flavor is kind of like an intense red bell pepper. It's a sweet pepper. It's not hot, but it is like one step up from a red pepper, and I like red peppers. I've got a new variety this year, a Corbaci pepper, right there. It's been hot, but not so hot that these guys have taken off yet. I'm hopeful that they will soon. A beautiful little marigold I grew from seed that I just wish you could see how vibrant it is. It's getting a little dark, but over here I have 3 more peppers. I have 2 green intruder peppers. 1, 2, and then a Big John spicy stuffing pepper. I've been told it's kind of like a giant, slightly mild jalapeno, which I am hoping is true. Oh, here's a bonus. I think I showed you this last week, but I had this really small bed, like stretch, that I literally wasn't doing anything with. Why build a raised bed? Why not plant in the soil? Well, you can't tell, but there's massive tree roots there that you couldn't do anything with. So we made it a little taller. Last year I did way too many pumpkins. Maybe I'll see if I can find a photo. This year I'm doing stalo corn, so I'm super excited about that. And it is jamming. You can kind of see part of my other garden there. But anyway, back to this. My last little guy, I have 2 ace peppers, which I'm using as red peppers. You can harvest them earlier for green bell peppers, and a Zulu pepper, which is like a purple pepper, which I grew last year. It was okay. I could have taken it or left it. One of my sisters really loved it and asked me to grow it, so I did. So that's a little extension, if you will, of some more food production that I have here on my lot in the city. where I can just eke out a little bit more vegetables and things that I love to grow. I hope that maybe you found something interesting that you might enjoy learning more and watching it as we check in with these plants every couple weeks to see what they've done and watch it grow. I always love watching other people's, and you might find some inspiration there too. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next time. Should we go inside? You're done being a gardening dog? You wanna go inside? Okay, let's go. Show me the way. Show me the way. Let's go inside. Is your sister inside? Well, I don't know if you can see her. It's dark inside because it's getting kind of late. They probably want to go to BDD. But there's the other cute puppy waiting. She didn't want to go out. She wanted me to come in. But now they're happy.